Your Oregon Coast adventure just got a whole lot easier and more affordable. North Coast Express tickets are 50% off all month long. Whether you're headed to Astoria's waterfront, strolling the shops in Cannon Beach, or tasting your way through the Tillamook Creamery, you can skip the car and sit back and enjoy panoramic views from reclining seats, stay connected with free Wi-Fi, and relax knowing there's an onboard restroom and wheelchair-accessible boarding. Running Fridays through Sundays with service from Portland, you can book your ticket online at visittheoregoncoast.com/express and use promo code 50OFF to save 50%.
You can make a difference in someone's life, including your own, with a job in home care. These jobs offer flexible schedules, healthcare, retirement options, and free training. They also provide paid time off and opportunities for overtime. Visit OregonHomeCareJobs.com to learn more and apply. That's OregonHomeCareJobs.com.
Today on CityCast Portland, we're talking about why Portland's coffee prices will continue to rise, Governor Kotek doubling down on our state's sanctuary laws amidst federal pressure, and the local taxes and advisory group recommends we restructure. Joining me on this week's Friday News Roundup are Willamette Week reporter and author Brianna Wheeler and our very own executive producer, John Notarianni. It's Friday, August 22nd. I'm Claudia Meza, and this is what Portland's talking about. Welcome, everyone, to the Friday News Roundup. Brianna, John, thanks for hanging out with me this morning.
Hey, Claudia.
Good morning.
Guten Morgen. For those of you new to the show, today is the day we break down some of the biggest local stories of the week with some of the best and brightest journalists in town. But before we jump into the headlines, into our opening question, which we ask so listeners can get to know our guests a little better, I wanted to remind everyone that today is the deadline to get your application in if you wanted to become our new social media manager. It's a part-time position through the end of the year. We're looking for someone to help us build our online presence because if you're a listener, you'll notice that we don't really post. So anyone, someone, if you're passionate and knowledgeable about all things Portland, you want to engage your neighbors, keep them informed, please apply. Again, the deadline for getting applications in is today, Friday. We'll link to the job post with all the details in our show notes. And John, passing the mic over to you because I know you had also something to share with the class.
Yeah, maybe you don't have it in you to take on an entire new job working with us, but you got some hang time this evening? Well, we are going to be hanging out at Kickstand Comedy in the Park this evening at Laurelhurst Park. It is CityCast night. There is a great suite of amazing comics that are going to be out there doing their thing, and we'll be hanging out. We're going to have a tent. We're going to be sitting in the back of the crowd watching the show, chit-chatting. So yeah, if you're around and got nothing going on this evening, come hang out with us. Getting there at 6 o'clock. The show starts at 6:30. Goes till about 8 o'clock or so.
Well, here's our opening question. It's related to Tuesday's episode. Is Portland over? It was a chat I had with Jay Fluellen with contributions from many local comedians, some that will be at Kickstand Comedy in the Park this evening. We were trying to answer the age-old question, is Portland truly over? One of the discussions we had was the concept that the Portland many people experience when they first move here or like in their 20s is probably over, but that has more to do with us getting older and inflation than a barometer of the city's well-being. So on that thread, my question to the both of you is, if you could bring anything back that would make the Portland you first moved to not over, like for you personally, what would it be? For example, Jay brought up the $5 margarita pizza and $5 beer happy hour at Life of Pi. My choice would be for the Overlook Cafe to come back.
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
My pick is also a beloved business that is now gone, which is Liberty Glass.
Oh, I remember.
That little bar that was at the foot of Mississippi. I started going there when I first moved to Portland, and I loved it. And especially, I remember one of the first times that I went there, it was before that condo building had been built around the corner. And there was just like a tree with a tree swing, you know? This was like 2015 or so. And I went there with a friend who was like, this is about to be redeveloped into a condo. So before it happens, take a date here. You're going to have your best date. Go to Liberty Glass and then take him to the tire swing on this tree before it's too late. And I never got a chance to do it, but I hung out at Liberty Glass plenty, and I missed that spot.
I missed that spot too. Mine is, gosh, this is gonna age me. I am a relic. Mine is the tall bike jousting during the old Alberta art walks that were totally unregulated at
I remember this.
the Clown House. Do y'all remember the Clown House on Alberta? That's the litmus test for like, are you like a Portlander that's been here for a while? You an old head? You remember the Clown House? You remember tall bike jousting?
You know what I miss is more unsanctioned bike activities.
You don't see tall bikes like you used to.
Or do you remember the sprockets?
Yes.
It was like this all-girl BMX group that just did like routines, like dance routines. It was awesome.
It was like, is this like bike choreography? Yeah,
Yeah,
apparently.
it was so cool. And it
Yeah.
was like punk as heck. Look at me try not to curse, John. I'm like, Brianna's here. She's going to do the cursing for us.
Oh, I
I'm
got you. I got you.
Thank you. Because I promised I'm going to keep an ear out, for myself.
I might have some curses in me today with some of the topics that we're covering, but
I want our listeners to know that this is a self-regulated thing. No one on my team has been like, Claudia. Well, guys, thank you both for your answers. On to the news of the week. Brianna, you're going to tell us why our coffee is about to get a lot more expensive.
Oh, gosh. I know. Get ready to get so angry with me and Amy Green, who reported this for The Oregonian. Coffee is going to get so much more expensive. I've been watching the bags of Stumptown in my local grocery store go from $12, $13, $15, $16, $17. Now we're looking at $20 for a 12-ounce bag in certain spots. Okay. So Amy Green, she interviews a dozen coffee drinkers, shops, and roasters, and she's just kind of like gauging the vibe. The vibe is possibly approaching shambles. Everyone is bracing for the inevitable, and that is that these prices are just going to keep climbing higher and higher and higher. And even now, in kind of our like luxury shops, we can see beans costing $35 to $40 a pound. And this is like luxury food prices. This is potentially more expensive than live lobster. And which is kind of like a flimsy comparison because like a pound of coffee is like maybe more than 20 cups of coffee, but like a pound of lobster is like a couple of lobster rolls. But either way, do y'all drink coffee? Are y'all coffee drinkers?
Oh, hell yeah.
I am, yeah. And this show runs on grit and coffee, I think.
Yeah.
I've had 2 cups already. One was an espresso. Didn't ask, but let me tell you. One was an espresso and one was drip.
Nice.
Might have some more later. I don't know.
That's what I'm talking about. I've got some freeze-dried Folgers crystals that I'm working with right now. Don't judge me. I love that shit. But I'll be up on that French press later. Believe me. I love it all. But now I thought in my heart and my brain that climate change was going to rob us of coffee. Mm-hmm. And all of these adverse weather conditions over the past couple of years have led to shortages of beans and higher prices. But it's fucking tariffs that are salting this gaping wound right now. Mm-hmm. So 10% tariff on coffee producing nations Colombia and Guatemala, but a 50% tariff on the world's largest producer of Arabica beans.
Who dat?
Oh, that's Brazil. Oh, no, but what do you want to do that for? Is it because Brazil is prosecuting Trump's fascist bestie, former President Jair Bolsonaro? Is it because of that?
Couldn't be.
Barf! Okay. So the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics says that ground roasted coffee prices in the western part of the U.S. have swelled to an average of $8.41 per pound. Yeesh. Yeah, is a 33% increase in the past year. Ouch! Oh, it's an 80% increase in the last 4 years. Say ouch 4 times. Oh my goodness. See, now, but these statistics, they don't even reflect the cost of Portland's higher end.
You're killing John.
I'm like trying not to laugh too hard into the mic. Let you speak.
It's the Folgers. It's the coffee enema. It's so serious. Where it really hits you is in the coffee enemas. That's where it's going to get us the worst.
Oh my God.
Okay, but rewind. Okay. Even these wild ass statistics are not really reflecting the cost of Portland's like high-end beans that are roasted in town. And we are so all about it, and we want to support our baristas, and we treat them like artists and like gourmet chefs.
Which they are.
They are. I believe that too. United States, we just don't have a climate that supports growing coffee. And there's like these little fractional exceptions in Hawaii and California. But the coffee that's grown there is so much more fucking expensive than the shit that they're tariffing in. It's so wild. Man, anyway, one of the co-owners of Heart Coffee Roasters, you guys know I'm so cute, so adorable, so wonderful, so fucking delicious, ethereal fucking coffee.
Yeah.
So they're planning on implementing their third price increase in a year. Yeah, but the tariffs aren't even just on the coffee. They're also on the paper bags that they sell the coffee beans in, which are imported from China with a 30% tariff. So a bag that used to cost 60 cents now costs over $1. Okay, so but there's this kind of like a weird, funky, I don't want to call it a silver lining, but it's just a very Portland feeling, I guess. The co-owners of Heart Coffee Roasters, it's a husband and wife, they're rolling with it. They're like, okay, we are not going to betray our mission. It's their life mission. They're not going to betray their passion by producing lower quality coffee to save a little bit of money. So yeah, experts were consulted with, and experts expect the prices to keep climbing. They don't know how much. We honestly don't know by how much. But I mean, based on these projections, like, I don't know, man, we're going to be drinking chicory and tea, I think.
Have you guys noticed, like, when you go out, have you felt it?
I feel like in just grocery store prices, I have felt the price inching up. Yeah. I definitely have started to feel that, like, ooh, ouch,
right?
Ouch.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I visit friends, it's a thing to bring them a pound of Portland coffee. Heart Coffee Roasters is one of the places that I would bring coffee. So I've seen it the same way. I've seen it in the grocery stores. But personally, I really like Dutch Brothers. That's my jam.
Okay.
Dutch Brothers and Folgers.
I am a Dutch bro that drinks Folgers.
Brianna, that is your new tagline. That is a new bio. I'm a Dutch bro that drinks Folgers.
Don't forget, you have to mention the coffee enemas also. Yeah, so I see the Oregonian, they reached out to like local spots, Quava. I think they reached out to Starbucks. They did reach out to Dutch Brothers. I have not seen like price increases there, and I'm there, 2 or 3 times a week. But I think it really goes to show that none of those roasters and shops that were reached out to by the Oregonian responded for comment. Quaking in their boots, y'all.
I mean, because it's like, what can you say? It's like, I'm going to start going in and being like, I'll take the coffee, hold the bag. Is that a workaround? Just be like,
can we just bring our own jars?
Just put it in my pockets. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Let the owners of Heart Coffee Roasters be listening to this episode and hear you motherfucking say that. Like, what's up? Bring your own bag. Get a free cup of coffee.
John in like, what do you call those multi-pocketed shorts? Like
cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts full of coffee beans.
John in cargo shorts, which is like already a vision.
They're just sort of shaking as you walk by, just like swoosh, swoosh.
It's ASMR when you walk by.
Oh my God. Well, real quick, in the Oregonian article, Portland resident Arthur Rich was quoted as saying, I think if coffee prices keep going up, there will be a point where I switch to tea and have coffee as a treat. And that made me it made me so sad. Like, what in the Dust Bowl depression?
Right.
Where are we like, oh, it's a rare treat. Here's a cup of coffee. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know who's sipping on very inexpensive and high quality coffee right now? Mexico. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Right.
I have the exact opposite reaction to your fellow quoted in the article. My thought is like, well, if prices on coffee are going up, it's like, what? Can I like cut back on shampoo? Like what else in my life can I spend less on to afford my coffee addiction?
John is solving problems out here.
God damn, you're on fire.
So in pockets, walking around with greasy hair.
Just here to help, y'all.
Oh, man. Well, Brianna, thank you for terrible news.
I know. Kill me. It does suck. Oh, God, it sucks so much.
Oh, man. Well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, more headlines of the week. And Brianna is literally sipping on some coffee right now.
Folgers.
Oh, so is John.
Folgers, what's up?
All right, coffee mugs up. See you in a little bit. If you're a home DIYer like me, you might have a few leftover paint cans gathering dust in your basement. Or maybe your house already came with a bunch of them like mine did. So I'm happy to share that Paint Care makes recycling your leftover paint, stain, and varnish simple and easy with convenient drop-off locations as close as your local hardware store. Paint Care has 3 simple rules for painting smarter. 1, buy the right amount of paint for the job. 2, use up leftover paint. And 3, recycle the rest. If you visit paintcare.org/3simplerules, you'll find tips on how to do all 3. Buying the right amount of paint for your project, exploring DIY ideas for how to use up leftover paint, and also just look up the nearest drop-off site in your neighborhood. Paint Care is all about keeping it simple for Oregonians. Time slows down in Walla Walla, Washington. And that's the point. You can experience a vibrant and relaxing getaway, going at your own pace, doing as much or as little as you want. And if you love to eat delicious food and drink good wine, this is your destination. Walla Walla Valley produces everything from wheat to asparagus to strawberries to, of course, their famous Walla Walla sweet onions. So there's plenty of farm-fresh, fine dining from celebrated chefs to explore. But it's also home to more than 130 wineries offering a variety of expressions and vineyard experiences. And all of this is just a beautiful and scenic 4-hour drive from Portland. Go to wallawalla.org to plan your visit today. That's wallawalla.org. All right, John, what's your story this week?
I'm talking about squabbling with the federal government.
Ooh.
So this is from
Yeehaw.
mostly from some reporting by Carlos Fuentes at the Oregonian, specifically looking at what's been going on with sanctuary city laws over the last week or so. Taking it way back, Oregon has had sanctuary city laws since 1987, basically preventing local law enforcement from helping out federal immigration enforcement. Portland has been a sanctuary city since 2017. It still means that federal immigration can operate here. It doesn't prevent ICE. And we've definitely seen ICE is operating in Portland. It just means that local cops aren't going to be putting in hours helping them out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Pam Bondi, U.S. Attorney General, does not like this. She sent letters to the mayors of 32 cities and several governors warning that she intends to prosecute people who, quote, impede federal immigration enforcement. Of course, our friends Governor Tina Kotek and our mayor, Keith Wilson, were on that list. The letter from the Attorney General argued that Congress requires states and local governments to cooperate with federal immigration enforcement. Our local leaders were like, nah. Governor Kotek, Mayor Wilson's offices both sent responses defending Oregon's sanctuary laws. Kotek's letter in particular sort of denied that Oregon is obstructing federal enforcement, saying that Oregon is in compliance with federal law and that there was no need to change state laws. Immigration enforcement is the federal government's responsibility. It's their expense. It's not the state's thing. A Portland attorney sent a similar letter to the Attorney General of the U.S.'s office, sort of saying that the city complies with federal and state laws, will continue its current policies. But it is just sort of the latest squabble between the federal government and what's going on with our city and state leadership. What do you guys think?
I feel, I hate being the naysayer of stuff, but John, I feel like we have gotten similar, I wouldn't say grandstanding, but hey, we are Portland or we are Oregon. These are our beliefs. We're never going to stray from them. And then the moment the federal government's like, okay, so we're not going to give you any money. It's like, okay, so we're no longer going to have DEI. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, well, maybe we don't sanctuary that much anymore. I don't know. And that's what I'm just like, when's the other shoe going to drop? Because I'm like, yes, Kotek, go.
Right.
But she's no Gavin Newsom. What I'm saying is she's not a sociopath set for good or good.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
I just had a conversation about Gavin Newsom earlier this morning. I'm quoting from a text. No one wants him to be president, but they are glad he's using his white male privilege to go low in ways that Obama and Harris could never. Anyhow.
He's a monster. But he's our monster.
Exactly.
Anyhow, I just don't see Tina Kotek ever rising. And when I mean rising, I mean going below the trenches. I don't see her as a trench fighter. So that's why I'm just like, yes, I agree, but like, what's gonna happen? And I could be wrong. She'd be listening, and be like, you're gonna eat your fucking words. And you know what? I hope I am. I can't wait.
Bring it, Kotek.
I got hot sauce waiting. Let's go.
But yeah, Claudia, like to your point, the city does have $350 million in federal grants that I think that like the city is very interested in protecting right now.
Yeah.
And like, you know, you're sort of like, oops, we're not going to do DEI anymore. That might sound like a joke, but there was just a city executive order maybe about a month ago requiring city employees to comply with new DEI requirements that came down from the Trump administration. So like, you know, we are standing strong and fighting the good fight, but, you know, we will occasionally also cede ground from what we've seen so far.
I've seen a lot of ceding of ground. Yeah. What do you think, Brianna?
Oh, I'm so grossed out. I would paint so many portraits of Tina Kotek if she started doing some shit up on her motherfucking X profile. That would be amazing. just to bring that back, because I really can't stop thinking about what that would look like. Horny. That's so crazy. I would love it.
Brianna, eternally horny for Kotek. Just so you know, I was quickly Googling if Oregon was a donor state, because I know at one point we were and then we weren't. We are. So Kotek might have a little swagger here. Because the reason why Newsom could go insane is, you know, the GDP of California. It's like more than Germany. It is more than most European countries. Like, he's like, oh, please come at us, bro. Like, we will sink the U.S. if we stop paying in to the federal government. But I was wondering, like, oh, is it all the West Coast? And I think we're all donor states. So I'm just saying we do have a financial leg to stand on. I mean, I'm sure it's not as much as, I'm just saying.
Well, I guess the last thing that I'll say on this is that this is sort of in the context of a lot of other saber rattling that is going on, specifically about Donald Trump announcing a campaign to abolish mail-in voting. Said that it's a scam and that it causes widespread fraud, which Oregon has mail-in voting. We know that is not the case. U.S. Senator Ron Wyden has sort of jumped up and said, like, no, that is not the case at all. But a number of things going on where the federal government is sort of starting to look at some of the policies that we have here in Oregon, being like, we don't like it.
Shout out to Wyden, though. He's been like every serve that he's been hit with, he's just returned it right back.
Yeah.
And he's been on it.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Yeah.
Same thing with Dexter. You know, like they're both like really coming in hard. And we need that pressure. And I feel like our voting rights, it takes a lot to get me out on the streets, I'll be honest. Because I'm so comfortable at home. I love voting from home. I don't want to leave.
Right.
I will protest in the streets to avoid voting in the streets, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I hope more people will join me. I don't want to wait in line. Ew.
100%. I'm with you. Also, raised in California, had to vote, had to get in line. Oh my God.
Sometimes it's hot outside, you guys.
Sometimes you have to wait. Somebody's always looking over your shoulder. Ugh, gross. Hate it.
Well, John, thank you. I feel like that was like a double header of federal rain. Thank you, guys. Brianna, really expensive coffee. John, watch out for your voting rights.
Here to spread the bad news.
Well, let's take a quick break here. And when we come back, I have some interesting local news. Yeah? The 12th annual Montevilla Jazz Festival, presented by Accelerator Design Studios, is happening from August 29th through the 31st. Portland's biggest local jazz festival, they're putting on more than 25 concerts across Montevilla and Mount Tabor Park. Also, did you know that Montevilla is actually a contraction of Mount Tabor Villa Edition? Just a random Montevilla fun fact. Anyhow, back to this ad. Discover the scene, the sound, and the Mount Tabor Village vibe at a mix of indoor and outdoor concerts. Some events are free, but you'll want a Jazz Adventure Pass to experience the heart of the festival. Go get your Jazz Adventure Pass today at montevillajazz.org. That's montevillajazz.org. So guys, my story this week was reported by OPB's Alex Zielinski, and it's about one of my favorite political topics, local taxes. So no one yayed, that's fine. Did in my head. That's great. I expected a little bit of clapping. That's fine.
Woo.
So not sure if either of you were aware, but this was news to me. A couple years back, Governor Tina Kotek assembled a 10-person advisory little tax committee made up of Portland area business lobbyists, financial managers, and some company heads. These tax avengers were assembled as part of the Portland Central City Task Force, which you might remember was the committee Governor Kotek created to tackle the post-COVID economic and societal downturn that was affecting our then spiraling downtown and Central East Side districts. So we talked about that committee on the show a lot, and to her credit, things appear to have gotten better. So I looked into who was in this tax advisory group because I was like, who, And some members included reps from a law firm, a semiconductor company, the Portland Metro Chamber, 2 different financial management companies, and members from nonprofits like the Coalition of Communities of Color, as well as private foundations like the 1803 Fund and the Meyer Memorial Trust, which I thought was pretty cool because there was a part of me that was like, oh, you asked all the business interest groups to find out if they're getting taxed too much? Nice,
Right?
But it appears to be a well-rounded group of tax adventurers. Anyhow, Portland residents face some of the country's highest tax rates. I'm talking every income class. This isn't a Republican talking point I'm regurgitating, as some listeners believe it is. It's unfortunately a fact. Of course, individuals with higher incomes and larger businesses operating in the city are hit the hardest, but everyone's feeling this financial pinch. You might also remember a few years back, there were so many stories that were coming out about how high taxes combined with like the homelessness and the mental health and fentanyl crises, they were chasing away all the money bags and businesses, And in turn, the county was seeing less tax revenue since it was just us poors left behind to rot in the rubble. And Willamette County did experience a dramatic drop in property tax revenue. It's one of the reasons why they came up so short in their budget earlier this year. So this tax advisory group were told to hone in on how these rising local taxes might be contributing to this exodus, with a special focus on how those taxpayers, the rich ones, feel like their tax dollars aren't improving public services. I guess fuck all of us, but whatever. That was my only F-bomb, I promise. Anyhow, before I share their findings, any initial thoughts?
Oh my gosh. I am so frustrated and flustered by this because of the issues that we have in Portland, and we do have issues that we need to address. The satisfaction of the highest earners is not one that I feel like we need the governor weighing in to deal with. And I'm just so skeptical. I've heard this thing bandied about that our taxes are forcing high earners to leave Multnomah County. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that that's a real fact. I've seen no data on this. I think that maybe corporations, I think that business groups might try and do less business here because they're worried about the taxation. And I do think that part of what's great about living in Portland is living in a society where the people that have more affluence, that have more resources, are paying back in and supporting the programs that exist. Oh, I'm so frustrated by this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I echo.
Well, there is some evidence suggesting that high income earners are leaving Portland, but we don't know if it's solely on taxes. Do you know what I mean? Or if it's just it's suburb time, or, it could be so many other different things. I don't know. The homeless, the fentanyl, and the mental health crisis.
Yeah, maybe it's social issues that they don't want to spend to try and address either.
Well, I don't think they're usually high-income earners are the ones that are rolling up their sleeves and going out in the streets and fixing shit for us.
Their tax dollars are.
Yeah. But it's what I'm saying is it could be a government issue of us not seeing social services when we keep paying into the system.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's just high-income earners that are feeling this.
Right.
I think a lot of us are just why are our streets so crappy? And you want more money? Mm-hmm. So here are their findings. The group recommends major overhauls to a trio of local taxes that have collected more money than initially anticipated. And of course, we're talking about the Portland Clean Energy Fund, which is PSEF, Multnomah County's Preschool for All, and Metro Supportive Housing Services Fund. The group suggests that all 3 taxes haven't delivered on their promise to voters. So the whole group was just while draining the local tax base. Now, their recommendations are as followed: throwing PSEF back on the ballot, saying any revenue above the projected amount goes towards Portland's general fund, which is the sentiment a lot of us have discussed. And we're just come on,
Yeah.
Turning PSEF, and again, PSEF isn't a tax that normal citizenry play, it's a business tax. So they're saying, hey, let's turn it into a sales tax, impacting consumers instead of the tax that impacts major companies, which,
Yeah.
The other is halting the collection of preschool for all taxes until that program goes through a comprehensive review from funding to governance, since it's kind of a mess. We just discussed the head of that getting caught on some state audit for possibly not doing well with the money that she was given for her own private preschools. So they're just like, again, it's making so much money. We're not seeing results. And how is it being governed?
Mm-hmm.
They're also advising to lower the income tax rate for the supportive housing service tax and allowing the funds, which right now does not allow this, to pay for constructions like actual housing, as well as creating a new oversight body. The next suggestion I found the most intriguing. The group also proposed ways to make it more challenging for local governments to adopt new taxes and change how proposed taxes are vetted before they land on a ballot, because you know how it is. We as Portlanders, you give us a new tax and we're just like, yes.
And that part of it I like, but go on.
Yeah. Okay, I know. So this vetting process, let me explain what it includes. It's a process for ballot measures, right? So requiring that all new taxes end after 10 years if they are found to not demonstrate progress, which I think is reasonable. An unspecified increase for the number of signatures that petitioners are required to collect in order to get a new tax on ballot. In Portland right now, we need about 40,000 signatures. They're like, how about more?
Yeah.
And they also want to have a group that essentially looks at these ballot measures before they go into ballot, like people who are good with taxes, as opposed to people who are good with their hearts and intentions, which is what's happening a lot of the times. And this is why I live in Portland. This is why I love Portland. I love that we're all willing just to be like, what do you need?
Yeah.
Sure. But then it's like no one's there to make sure that this happens, So not all members of this tax advisory group agree with these suggestions. For one, Coalition of Communities of Color dissents from the parts of the report, specifically the theory that taxes alone have led to people moving out of Multnomah County, saying housing affordability, wage trends, workplace shifts, come on, let's think about other things. It's it's not just this one narrative.
Yeah.
They also disagree with changing the process in which tax measures land on a ballot, but I also feel like nonprofits wouldn't like that.
Fair.
And also, they think proposed changes to current taxes would weaken the intent of the ballot measures, basically saying, hey, if we change any of the major three that I discussed, we already voted on it, So no matter what, most of these proposed changes would need approval from local elected bodies or voters to advance. But the report urges expediency, meaning we need to do this now.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think?
Okay. And this is why I'm so frustrated, because some of this shit I really agree with. I will agree that some of these programs need to be overhauled,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that part of the problem is that we have this kind of loosey-goosey system of ballot initiatives turning into taxes, which is not great policy. But the part that I really royal with is that there's some really good ideas mixed in with some really awful ideas,
What are the awful ideas?
Having PSEF overages go towards the general fund. Great idea. Turning it into a sales tax that necessarily will fall on poor people in our community is a very bad idea.
Will it though? I didn't see the breakdown, because right now my gut, just like you, is no, I don't want to pay I want to pay sales tax. But sometimes the sales tax is just other businesses that they're doing business with, and it's not us. You know what I mean? The everyday consumer. So I wonder, anyone out there in tax land?
I mean, it is pretty widely accepted that sales taxes are a regressive tax, that they fall on people. And a sales tax is paid by the consumer, right? This is an effort to shift the burden of the taxation away from business and onto the consumer, which is just bad, bad, bad.
So that was the bad. Because you were just there were so many bad ideas. And so I want to hear what the other bad ideas were.
Oh, I mean, I think that what they're proposing with the supportive housing tax, allowing it to pay for construction, creating new oversight bodies, these are things that will make this system work better. And that's a good idea. Lowering the income tax rate for the supportive housing services tax, that is a bad idea. That just means that the people who are wealthy are going to put less money into this system. So many of these things are a good idea of reform of these systems paired with an opportunity for people who are already wealthy to spend less in taxes. And that's why I'm really skeptical of this as a package.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, these taxes are already making so much more money than expected. And so I think that's why these financial, and it's like more business interests are saying like, we don't have to pay as much. You guys are getting just what you need, or getting way more than you need with what you're asking for. So if we lower it, I'm always this guy, and if we pay less taxes, you're still going to get enough. You're still getting enough. So I can see the reasoning behind that, but I agree, because once you lower it, you're going to be able to get it back up.
Oh, yeah. It's never coming back up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I can see why, like they're fighting for that as well. What do you think, Brianna?
Good luck, y'all.
I don't think she means that.
Have fun in there.
I don't think she means that. I don't.
Just sipping my coffee.
Oh, man. Well, you guys, thank you for hanging out with me. Anyone listening, if you've got opinions on any of this, I want to hear. I want to hear the other sides. I want to hear the reasonings for this, for that.
Especially if you're drinking the $40 a pound coffee. I really want to talk to that person. Like,
why is that, John?
just how $40 a pound for coffee?
How good is that coffee, though?
Oh, my God. Because John wants to tax you.
I do. I absolutely do.
John's like, where are you? What's your mailing address? It's just a personal John tax.
4 scoops of coffee per pound deposited into my mailbox.
Well, before we head out, we have some shout outs from members of our Portland Neighbors program. One of the perks of being a paying member of CityCast Portland is the opportunity to shout out a local business or organization or person, actually, that you love. John, you want to kick us off?
Yes, I want to shout out Claudia, who I love.
No. You've literally melted my overcaffeinated heart.
I don't know if I earned a shout out, but I squeezed one in. No, this one's from Anna Y, who says, I've been getting strong at Strength Union Gym in Southeast. Awesome owner, knowledgeable trainers, and friendly gym goers.
Oh, okay. I have one from Michael S. Hacienda CDC and the Portland Mercado, which it runs, has a major impact on our city with support for housing and small business. Oh, man, I want to shout that out, too. They're amazing. Portland Mercado is amazing.
So great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I want to shout out Anna and Michael for their shout outs. And a huge thanks to all of our newest members who have joined in recent weeks. Andrew W., Jerica P. Oh, my God, I love that name. Ed P., Danielle M., Chris B., and Amanda W. You guys, welcome. Welcome to the neighborhood. When you join as a Portland neighbor, we'd also be happy to read your shout-outs of places you love in Portland, alongside with a bunch of other perks, like events. We do events. You get to meet us. We're so much fun. And also ad-free listening, which might be a better perk than meeting us, I gotta tell you.
If you want less of us.
Join at membership.citycast.fm. You guys, this was so much fun. As always, it's a joy to host you both. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I hope everyone listening has a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Claudia.
Thanks, Claudia.
That's all for today here on CityCast Portland. Thank you everyone for listening. Our podcast production team this week was John Notarianni, Julia Fiaioni, Selena C.A. Reynolds, and myself. Our Hey Portland newsletter editors were Rachel Monahan, McKenna Harford, and Adrian Gonzalez. Our host is me, Claudia Meza. Original music by Jenny Conley and Steven Drizos. Additional music by All the Kimonos, as well as Sarah the Instrumentalist, Timothy Infinite, and Gregory David, courtesy of Epidemic Sound. We'll be back Monday morning with more from around the city. Until then, see you at Slim's.